need the amount of hours of sleep in order to function properly during their days. Also children that need more hours of sleep. And I started studying as well some sick people, like people with sleeping disorders, like apnea, insomnia, and this kind of stuff. I wanted to invent like something in order to wake you up smartly and also individually, because sometimes you are sharing bedroom and you wake up with the other people's sounds, and it's not really good for you because maybe you are being awakened in a time that you don't really need to. So what I came up is with a smart cover pillow and with an alarm dog station. These are my first designs, and it's basically an alarm station with a pillow with speakers on it. The function of this product is, in the pillow you have some sensors embedded on it, and during your sleep, it keeps tracking your sleeping cycles, and it recognizes when you are ready to wake up and when you are not ready to wake up. So imagine you at night set up your alarm maybe at 8. You set up your alarm at 8, and then when your sleeping cycles are tracking your sleep, maybe they say, okay, maybe you need to wake up at 10 to 8, and it sends a signal to your alarm dog station to wake you up before, because you are going to wake up properly in your light sleep, when you are in your light sleep. So when the signal is sent to your alarm dog station, then the alarm dog station sends the signal to the speakers in order to start the sound to wake you up. This is my first design, and this is my last design. I tried to change the colors. The first two ones are made out of wood, and the base is made out of metal. And the third one is really prepared for kids, because it's made out of plastic and with different colors. You can customize it in order to be more playful for the kids. The technology embedded on it is, it has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and ENT, which is a low energy communication protocol that lets pillow and alarm dog station communicate properly. The sensors that are embedded on pillow, the speakers, and local motion sensing to notice when you are standing up, because the alarm dog station stops the sound on your speakers when you are standing up, when you notice that you are already awake. Well, not awake, but you already got up. And well, this is the user experience with the picture I have in my video prototype. If you want to see the video prototype, maybe it's worth it. Don't see it. I don't know where it's my video prototype. Here?
It's on that computer, but it's not in. I'd have to find it. It's in a different email, different folder. So
okay, maybe I.
You got it there on USB. The other side is here.
I don't know how this works. If you can help me. No, it should be in your email. Yeah.
Oh, it's an email you sent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You remember before.
All right. Okay. So,
but it's not in this email. It's, yeah.
That was not there.
Oh. It's not. No. Yeah.
So, if you're woken up by music, is the technology smart enough to understand or learn from what your activities are going to be that day? Does it sync with your diary, for example? So if it knows it's a Saturday or a Sunday, it's maybe playing something which is more about relaxation the weekend. If it's going to be a really chaotic Tuesday, it maybe comes in a bit Iron Maiden and kind of gets going. I don't know. Does it have that connectivity?
No, the sensors that are embedded in your pillow are really tracking only your sleeping cycle. So maybe the music that is going to wake you up, or that you set up to wake up or to fall asleep, you have to choose it, and you can set it up in the station. Okay. So yeah, probably before you can set up which music do you want to be waking up with, and then it's going to be played. Also with the pillow, you can set up some familiar sounds or some music that help you to fall asleep. And you can, the sensors are smart enough to notice when you are falling asleep. So when you are falling asleep, the music starts turning down. And then when you are actually sleeping, the sensor notices it and sends the sensors notice it, send a signal to the station, and then turns it off.
When you were thinking about the sleep cycles and how people sleep, was that influenced by the children, adults, and the sick people? Which one came first? Did you look at the users first and then look at the sleep cycles? Or was it the
when I tried to do some research about the sleep cycles, actually I do the normal pattern only. The 3-stage studies for the non-REM sleep cycles and the REM states. But what I did look was these kind of alternative cycles that you can. There are some theories about that you can have different sleeping cycles. Maybe you can sleep 4 hours during the night, and you can have 3 naps during the day, and then you can rearrange your sleeping schedule in order to function properly, or try to function, or maybe to stand up only, because maybe it's going to be worse for the future, for your health. But yeah, what I researched is the normal patterns and then the alternative behavior, not the patterns that children have of the sick people.
Did you put any research into how people use a pillow and how your technology fits inside it? You're supposed to go to sleep and just lie down. I personally hug it and roll around with it and everything else. So did you do any research into?
Yeah, I was asking some friends how do they sleep, and they say that sometimes they are playing with the pillow, and sometimes they keep turning it the other side in order to get it cooler or hotter, depends on what they like. So that's why this was the most common answer to all the people I interviewed said. That's why with the pillow, what I try to do is put speakers on both sides.
Okay.
And put sensors in one side of the pillow, and in all the external sides of the pillow. So even though you are turning it around, it keeps tracking your sleeping cycles.
Okay.
Does it wake you up when you reach a light sleeping pattern?
Yeah, it should wake you up when you are you have a time window of 20 minutes. And if you set up your alarm at 8, but you are ready to wake up at 10 to 8, it wakes you up at 10 to 8. It's when you reach your light sleep. Because maybe if you are waking up the time that you want, maybe you are going to be in your deep sleep, and it's not going to be healthy for you. And during the day you are going to feel restless. Maybe you are going to feel more rested if you sleep 10 minutes less, than if you sleep 10 minutes more, and you are waking up in the wrong time.
It doesn't allow you to go beyond 8 o'clock.
No, it's only before. If you set up your alarm at 8, it gives you a window of 20 minutes, from 20 to 8 to 8.
Sorry, I would have to deal with an excuse that my pillow didn't wake me up from it. So the bus. No, pillow didn't wake me up. Right, okay. We're conscious that you're in quite a bit of pain and we're asking you questions and you're having to stand through this.
Yeah, I didn't want to miss this.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you, and please get a taxi. And
Yeah, I'm going to the hospital now.
Right. Nice
Well,
to
thank you very much.
Have you got your USB?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We just run in the order of Dropbox.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that? Because last time we did it alphabetically.
Yeah, you could just plug it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, plug it out.
So then it's Tyler. Yeah.
We mark you down.
Tyler, do you want me to give you a wee prompt when you've got a minute or so? Yeah. Things all on
Yeah. There's a little timer on the slideshow. We blank a timer.
No.
Yeah.
I've experienced problems trying to run PowerPoint and Dropbox before. I might download them all.
None of them all at the same time.
Alright, okay, if not, it's there, yeah.
You want to shoot video from that angle. We start from this looks like his glass just exploded.
I'm not even sure that video.
Just follow me. I
Thank you for drink later. The hospital.
Good old Dropbox is dropped.
It's creating a zip file.
Yeah. Well, the zip file is actually downloading already.
Yeah, why down?
Well, I'm trying to open up the file from Dropbox, and it's still churning away.
Well, if you press the download button over there.
Yeah, well, I'm downloading all the presentations at once, just so we don't have to do it. Start with everyone's run.
You were using a pen drive?
Yeah, if someone is using a pen drive, they can go with.
Yeah, who's got a pen drive?
I've got a pen drive.
You want to go?
You've got using a pen drive.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I
Oh,
brought
is
my
it?
presentation
Ah.
and jump right just in case something will happen.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah. Question is how this works.
Doesn't.
It doesn't. Yeah, okay.
The laser pointer still works, but the laser pointer part.
Okay, I don't need the laser.
We've got Eddie. Eddie's stood in for Tyler because the Dropbox is taking its time to download.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm Eddie. Hi, nice to be here to present this finally. Yeah, so we've been working on a project to improve the audio reproduction and the value and quality of music. So I had a relook at at how we listen to music at hi-fi systems, and I've also had a look into what is missing. I came up with the enhanced audio disc, which kind of redefines hi-fi in a way that we have known back in the days, but have kind of lost on the way. So the enhanced audio disc is basically a flash-based digital storage for digital music, but on a physical disc again, so you can go into the store and buy music like you bought a vinyl back in the days. And it comes with a player, it comes with high-quality packaging, and yeah, I'm going to talk about that later a bit.
So where did that actually come from? One could say that digital music lacks physicality. That's kind of obvious to say because it's digital, right? It's not physical. But in the days of Spotify and of streaming services, of downloading music, we don't really go into stores anymore to buy music. At least the young generation does not anymore. And yeah, on the other hand side, vinyl sales are going up. That's something I had to relook into and came up with this research over here. And basically the outcome is that people listen to vinyl LPs because they like that it's physical. They like to have the physical disc in their hand. They like the big artwork that is collectible, that you kind of have to go through a ritual to put on the music, and that you are kind of forced to listen to the whole album. So the EAD is bringing this back to some extent. So basically what would happen if you listen to music with EAD is you go to your shelf, you pick the album that you want. You have to get it out of the packaging, you have to insert it into the player, and the interface between the disc and the player I imagine to be an 8-pin system, just like the Apple Lightning system, because that's fast enough. And well, what happens is that you lower down the disc into the player, and to actually insert it properly, you have to push it slightly into it, and it gives that light clicking sound and drops into the player, and the player comes to life and shows you the artwork. And basically it's a glass cube, and the whole of the glass cube on the top is a touch screen, giving you the interface to control your music. And then you go to your sofa and sit back down and have a look at the liner notes and enjoy the music. So the EAD comes with physical and digital features, of course. It's a physical record format. You've got the artwork embedded in the disc again. The materials are quite luxurious, so it's quite glass-based, though the bottom layer can be made of various materials. And digitally, it's really high-quality music, so basically what is recorded in the studios you will have on the disc. And yeah, you can also have additional content on the disc itself, because it's a digital storage. You can put anything on there that you want, meaning you could put some liner notes on there to be read on the player itself, or even on a projector included into a later model of the player. Or you could show some videos, some interviews, stuff like that as well on top of that. Though the intention of the disc really is to play music, and that would be only additional. So yeah, the bottom layer can be made of various materials. That could look like this. So you could enhance luxury through using different materials. So you've got steel, you've got anodized aluminium, even wood or some kind of plastics. Down there, also put some carbon-based material. So this is just another possibility to give the artists more choice to individualize their records. That is the EAD, the Enhanced Audio Disc. Thank you very much. And I'd be happy to answer your questions, of course. Yeah, sure.
Quite like the touch point at the end there where you mentioned that the artist has an opportunity to select the material, whether it was carbon or anodized aluminium or timber, etc. And I'm thinking back to when you did look at the time, the care and effort that certain bands put into an LP and the artwork that they select. In some cases, bands were the artists or graphic designers as much as musicians. Whereas in the CD format, as we know it, it's somewhat restrictive. I'm thinking, why just stop the band having control of the material? Because you're now saying that they can, or we can, or you can put other information there, whether it's interviews or other insights into the musicality or the recording, all these kind of things. So maybe the bands can maybe even have downloadable content. So you buy it, and after a month of listening to it, it then sends you a bit more information to keep you engaged with the music. So there's almost like a dialogue of ownership, which in lot of cases, is missing in digital.
Yeah.
Even in games, there are some games do it. You know, they give you digital or downloadable content to open up other elements of gameplay.
I'm a bit in a conflict there, to be honest, because I was thinking about making the whole device interconnectable or not. And then I've kind of mentioned this point that people with vinyl like about it, that they actually have to listen to the whole album, so that they can't skip songs, but they have to listen through them. So that actually forces you to occupy yourself with the music, kind of, even if you maybe not like that song as much as another, but you get another view on it. And that's why I was thinking about actually not giving the device a remote control, but really having it as a standalone system, so that if you want to change something, you actually have to walk up to the device and use the touchscreen. The moment you make it interconnectable with the internet, it doesn't make any sense not to have a remote control on your iPad, on your iPhone, whatever. So yeah, I'm a bit twisted. I like the idea, but
Okay.
and I also like the idea of having it actually as a standalone system.
I love that. That was awesome. That was right up my street. So, I'm a massive vinyl fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say your research stated that people are going back to vinyl and sales are up because it's a physical thing that you can hold and have. I'd say it was more because we hit a peak. We did the CD thing. We did mini discs, although people will probably remember that. And then MP3 came out, destroyed mini discs. That was the start of the digital music trend, but they were all 128-bit, really poor quality. From there we kind of went up, and we're now at this stage where people are spending a lot of money on high quality digital audio, and then they're realizing that it's not actually ever going to be as good quality as an analog format, which is the vinyl record, which is why I think, anyway, that people are buying back into that. So you've tapped onto something pretty cool here, because you've got the high-end tech there, but you're taking the physical side of it and putting it back in, which is quite nice. You've got two sides of your project, let's say. You've got the disc that people would buy into, but also the player. Did you look into having the disc as your physical connection to your band and to the music you like? Also, your player, it doesn't need to be as retro as a record player. You're going to need some sort of advantage to it. So did you look into the tech that you put into that? Does it have AirPlay in it, or a wireless like DLAN or anything like that, or is it quite simple and only for this format?
Well, to be honest, I've come from the format, and then I've realized that to explain the whole story, I need to explain how it interacts with the player, etc. So that's when I jumped into also creating a player, and that's really at the first stage, at the idea stage. So I didn't spend too much time looking into the tech yet. But as I said, I'm still a bit twisted with actually making it a really, really modern device and giving it all the flexibility that modern times, internet, etc., and AirPlay have, or whether it really should kind of be the standalone thing. And yeah, I think that is definitely something to discuss further, and also to get in touch with sound engineers to really see what's possible and what makes sense.
Sure. Well, I think the guys have asked similar questions to what I was going to ask, but for me, the relationship about the technology, the product that you've defined, and who the users were, I was just wondering, do you have any? I mean, I know you've got the notes and stuff like that, but why did it become like almost like an album cover, or why was it like that, like a CD box that opens up? Did you look at other types of ways of delivering this?
Yeah. Actually, I did. That is just the first prototype. It's various different packaging could be possible, of course. I had a look at a nice slipcase that really screams quality, kind of. So you have the slipcase with a nice ejector pull. You can pull out, and then you get the liner notes and an insert with the disc is in. And well, regarding who actually would sit down and listen to music actively, because that's the kind of people that this is aimed at those who actually don't want to use music to cancel out everything else, but to sit down and listen to music only, is well, you can find them in any age group, and in male and female, it doesn't really matter. It's just when you really want to communicate with the music, basically. That's who's aimed at. You could say audiophile people.
Good. Thank you. Well done.
You just jump in for questions as well. Someone just starts.
Right, let's see if we can get this drawn.
Yeah, but if you ask questions, I'll actually take notes.
Okay, here we go. So if we run the presentations from here, that will hopefully work without any hiccups.
Create the list view, and then you can just run through the list.
It's weird. Leon's on the top.
But do
Do
it by date modified.
Uh,
First come, first serve.
It's still time.
Taylor, yours was up there first, I don't know. Somehow
It's
beat
gone
you to the
backwards.
punch, I guess.
It's gone backwards.
Oh, okay.
Where are you? There we go. I couldn't work out what was flickering earlier on. It seemed that the screen was flickering, but I looked over here and it's okay, do you want me to give you the prompts? You've got a minute. Is that okay? Minute, 2 minutes? What's
1 minute's good.
okay?
Hello, my name is Tyler Mobley, and I will be presenting the e-monitor, which is an emotion detection device. So when I first got the prompt for this project, I immediately wanted to do something connecting emotion with music, because to me, that's kind of the beauty of it, when you really have that deeper connection with what you're listening to. And so I started looking into current technology for emotion detection. There's 3 major avenues that I uncovered. One is visual recognition, which is what Google Glass is looking to use. But obviously that only works if you have something that can read your face. So an initial concept was sort of a watch-like device, but I abandoned that pretty quick and then moved on to audio recognition, which is actually what dogs use to determine human emotions, and research has found they actually have a large portion of their brain dedicated to this audio recognition. But you're not always speaking, so just using audio recognition isn't necessarily going to allow continuous emotion monitoring. So then I sort of moved into combining that with biosensors. There's a few notable universities doing research into this, such as MIT. And currently they're at about 80 to 90% accuracy across 6 emotions, using nothing but biosensors to determine your emotion. I initially started looking at just the general user, someone who wants to listen to music while they're jogging or studying, and this device can sort of pick up on their emotions and determine what to play to help optimize that activity for the user. But I sort of quickly branched out into more specific user groups. One of the ones I looked at was performing artists who, let's say you have a modern dancer, they're wearing this device, and the music that's playing during the performance is changing based on their current emotions, so they can have a deeper connection with the performance and do a really adaptive and unique dance, as well as athletes using a device such as this, so maybe their coach can monitor their emotions and really help elevate their mental game to optimize their performance. And then finally I looked into developmentally disabled kids, and I'll explore that a little bit further in a later slide. So how it works, there's 2 primary functions. One is the initial emotion detection using the audio recognition. So basically you give the device a voice command, such as play music to match my mood or play music to make me happy. And then from there, the physiological sensors are going to continuously monitor your mood to see how close you are to matching that baseline you set, or how close you are to getting to that emotion you asked it to help you get to. And there's one sensor array that goes on your forehead, and this is measuring your EMG, skin temperature, and skin conductance. And it goes on your forehead because if you think about it, you emote using your expressions, and so it's measuring the activity of the muscles in your forehead to help determine your emotion. And then the other sensor goes on your earlobe. Now the device will physically stay on because you can see there's a few portions that have a bit of a different texture, a bit of a different color. And that would be something similar to like a silicon-coated memory wire. Memory wire being something that always wants to keep its position. So you can deform it and it always comes back to where it is. So placing that behind the ear instead of at the corner of your forehead, it's going to put a backwards force on your forehead and forwards force on your ear. So it's going to gently clamp the device onto your head so it physically stays in place. So one example user journey is for a young male who has autism. Children with autism typically have a lot of social anxiety in situations such as riding the bus to school. So if you're wearing this device, it can help calm them down, ease that anxiety. As well as obviously learning is difficult for people with autism as well. So this allows his teacher to continuously monitor his mood and maybe tailor her techniques that help him learn more effectively, as well as sending updates to his parents to maybe ease their anxiety about him in these settings. As well as I really think this device could be helpful in a situation such as music therapy that's already trying to connect your emotions to music. And then I just have a quick video prototype. Maybe, yeah.
Right now available. Playing now.
Maybe get it from. You're still going.
First one.
The first, yeah.
This is the story of a girl who couldn't live her job. When she goes storming down.
All right, so that's it. I have no idea where anything is.
Right.
Start clicking on things.
Also, you. So I like the integration of the technology and stuff for the reading your emotions and playing music. But what was the trigger? What started? I mean, I'm quite interested in where you got that focus area from. What defined that as the thing you wanted to look into?
Yeah, it really started as a personal thing for me, I guess. You know, my favorite part about listening to music is when you hear that song and you get the tingles on your scalp and goosebumps on your arms because it was really resonating with you. And then when we started doing research, like user-centered research in the design of ethnography, it was just something that came up a lot, talking to people, this connection between emotions and music, and also sort of, I feel like trends in technology are really moving towards the technology making decisions for you, sort of being a more passive user experience. So that's